Hey, Detroit Bob, RIP to Sam Moore of Sam and Dave. What a great singer and a long life the guy lived. Got that Memphis soul sound down there at Stacks. Out there today in the wild, 5 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit for my UK friends. 20% of the RockMine viewers are from the UK. I'm loving that. Those guys know their records, man, and they know their Northern soul, they know their soul. They know Americana and American music better than we do. So I'm learning a lot from these guys, and I'm finding a lot of gems based off their recommendations, especially that Northern Soul Top 500 list. Been sort of using that as my my baseline. Every time I get my car washed, I go to this place called Crown Point Antique Mall, and it's been about 3 or 4 weeks, so it's on my circuit. So I stop by. That gives the merchandise enough time to change over a little bit. And you never know, today might be the day where I found a Northern Soul classic, or I find one. So let's go check it out. All right, here I am back at the car wash, and that's when I usually hit the Crown Point Antique Mall. So let's see what we can do. This thing's amazing. I mean, you get out here with a clean wash, 13 bucks. It's cold out though. 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or -1 is what I saw earlier. So figure that. And hope this thing just doesn't freeze up on me. But I got road salt. I got all the crap from going into the highways and byways looking for records, and just trucks are spraying me down. I got salt from head to toe all over my car, and I just feel like it needs a good cleaning, just like some of my vinyl sometimes. So that's what we're doing first. We're gonna clean the slate, and then we're heading back to Crown Point Antique Mall so we can find some vinyl. All right, we're starting to emerge out of this psychedelic swamp called the car wash, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope there's some good vinyl there. And I think half of this is for show. This is like a Pink Floyd psychedelic light show, man. I feel like I'm back in the 70s and someone slipped something into my drink. But here we go. Alrighty, man, we're taking it in for a ride. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. We'll get that green light. We'll go get some vinyl. Let's make it happen. Crown Point Antique Mall, which is one of our regular stops. Let's see if we got any gems there. And let's do it. Green light, here we come. All right, most of the flags are still at half staff because of President Carter's passing. So that's why you're seeing that at half staff. We're not heading to Chicago, that's for sure. We're just gonna stay here in the region. All right, we're not heading to Indy either. So that's a nice short drive. And like I said, this place is right next to the car wash, so it should be no problem. The place is back in an industrial zone. And here we got Taco Bell's going up. We've got McDonald's. It's like a boom. Chick-fil-A right behind us. Like this exit here has just been build for the last 3 years. Here it is down this little industrial road. You sort of got to know where you're going. It creeps up on you real quick. That's it right there. Hopefully they're open. All right, there we go. We've been here before. And it says that it's open at 10 a.m., so we should be good. Totally freestyling it. I don't have a list. I don't have anything. So let's check this place out. It says it's open right here. I used to have one of these as a kid. Took thousands of pictures with no film in the camera. I always check these guys first. Booth number 31. I probably picked 1 or 2 out of here. This guy always throws Elvis out here. And I probably looked through all of these more than once, but you never know. Today could be a day. So there's a Creedence, Little Milton. You know, I think I have those. So even though it's on stacks, this is all sort of common stuff. So I'm not seeing any old label, rare label. These are sort of commons that I already have. So we'll just move on to the next booth. Yep, I've got all these. When you get 10,000 records, you can start to get a little picky. Now there's a booth next door, but this one I don't remember going through before. And I don't remember them having vinyl. So I'm looking at this little 45 box and let's see what's in it. Huh, a bunch of railroad stuff. Jungle Book. Wow, that's clean. Boy, when I was a kid, I loved that. I had the album. Curly Shuffle. The Monkees on some kind of a Rhino reissue, 25 bucks. Come on. It's just a package of kids. This is all kids stuff. Dale McBride. Yep. So someone's into the kids. Sesame Street. Survivor, 4 bucks. And Roberta Flack. All right. And you see some CDs. Son of Schmielson. You can sort of tell, like, by the album prices how priced or overpriced a lot of these places are. So there you go. This booth is where I've had some good luck before. Reed Records. And I always leave a little, leave me some Northern Soul, please. Now, if you remember, I picked up, well, at this booth I picked up a $5 Tom Petty record and sold it for $25. But whether that's been restocked or not, the thing about everything being priced at $5, you have to find a $25 record for $5 and not 10 $3 records that you pay $5 for, if that makes any sense. So this is not, you know, the one right there. Mary Jane's Last Dance is the one I got before, and that's, I would buy it again. Stevie is possibly breaking into the $8 or $10 range. But so far nothing's jumping out at me. I mean, I'm 3/4 of the way through. Whitney, Rod Stewart has so many CDs. He just flooded. And I don't have my chest mount today, so it might be a little shaky. Bear with me. Janet Jackson from right here, 15 miles away. We went to the Jackson house 2 episodes ago. Running out of room. Elton, Dolly, Toby. I liked Toby Keith. I thought he was a great performer. I thought he was natural. Let's pull the rest of these out and look at them. Nothing there today, but I give this person an A+ for just the look of their booth. It's very well curated, very well displayed. Booth 319, Reed Records. So we definitely recommend Reed Records booth 319. Take a look at the sleeved ones. I'm going to tell you right now, they're all probably way overpriced at 10 bucks a piece. But for the collector who just wants a visual token, you know, Madonna, you know, who wants that sleeve as a souvenir, it's worth it. Yeah, look at that hat. Saw that somewhere recently. Bruce Springsteen's Secret Garden. I never even heard of it. Aretha and Elton, everybody was trying to do something with Aretha at the end there when they realized how great she was. Cher, some of these Bon Jovi, Madonna, Keep It Together. So later McCartney, U2. That might approach $10, but nothing here is screaming like original Rolling Stones. Even that, you know. All right. Overall, cool booth. Check it out, 319 Reed Records, right there. Yeah, rock and roll is everywhere in the United States. And you got the new Dylan movie out there now, so everything's Dylan. Everybody's getting in on the vinyl game. So sometimes these little booths where they don't really know what they got yet, that's where you get your bargains. This is the booth where I've had the best luck. And it's mostly just maps and trinkets, but they have this little 45 section in the corner. And I pulled the Rationals and some Northern Soul out of there. Now you guys tell me. I went through this whole rack, and this is what I came up with that looks interesting. So I got Kentucky Woman by Deep Purple, Soulful Strut by Young Holt Unlimited. I don't know who Rod Lauren is, but I've never seen this color of a picture sleeve, and it looks original. So Deep Purple Hush company sleeve. Grand Funk, produced by Frank Zappa. I don't even know the song. And For Once in My Life by Stevie. And Stylistics, You Are Beautiful. Sort of a provocative cover. That might be some kind of collector's item. So what do you think? Should I get it? I don't know, $5. It's in very good to very good plus condition. It does have the cutout hole. It's got a really clean Brunswick sleeve, but I don't even know if that's matching. Yeah, a little pile. Let's look through them. Well loved. It might be worth it. It's a great song. Sets. $3, no way. That one you don't see that often. I'm not paying $4 for it. I'm getting disciplined. This is a badass record right here. I'm just not sure if it's worth $25. I've never seen it in a picture sleeve. Might be a reissue. Got a little bundle in here. See what's in it. So it's stapled, so I can't even open it. So I'm not buying it. Disciplined, I might not actually buy something this trip. There's some old 8-tracks. Remember those days? Oh, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Garth for $3. Garth for $3. Garth for $3. Garth for $3. Low places I'd buy. Friends in Low Places. That's the one you want, right? That's the jukebox hit. I don't know about the rest of his stuff. Some of this stuff is just overpriced, but these are if you're a Garth Brooks fan, I suppose they're okay. I never was. Oh, look at that. Friends in Low Places. I'm buying that. It's probably, just sight unseen, it's probably worth $3. Let's see what condition it's in. Getting out of here with 145. Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places. Well-loved copy. Let's just put it that way. But you know what? For $3, even if I just use it as a jukebox copy, there you go. It's worth it. I think in great condition, this might go for $10. But here we are. Let's check out, see what we got. Hey, how's it going? It didn't make it into building B, but I gotta save some for next trip. But I'm happy, we're out of here. And I got 145 for $3. So, feeling good. Crown Point Antique Mall. Always a good stop when you get your car washed. All right, I'm heading back to that building B over at the Crown Point Antique Mall that we missed the other day. I haven't been in there in a while. Last time I was in there, I pulled a great David Ruffin. Hang on, good song. This is a great song. My dad used to play this. Herb Alpert, Taste of Honey. Okay, sun's out. Heading to do a little bit more diving for some gems on 45 RPM, and maybe I'll find something. So back to Crown Point Antique Mall, Building B. All right, the flag's still at half-mast because of Carter dying, and we got Elvis playing, and we're heading to the Crown Point Antique Mall. It's in this industrial corridor. I think there's a new entrance, so see if I can sneak back there. Tell you what, there's a building boom going on. They just put in this Chick-fil-A. I don't know what that is. And of course, you got a Taco Bell and McDonald's just down the road. So figure that. Oh, right there. All right, there it is. We're gonna go to the fire building this time. And wish me luck, man. Building B, here we come. Get this baby parked. And of course, I'm bringing the Northern Soul Top 500 list with the alphabetized one, so wish me luck. Saw some guy walk out with some kind of psychedelic 60s poster, so I got a good feel going. All right, Building B looks a lot like Building A. Imagine that. Seems to me, I had to look a little harder last time I was in here, probably about 6 months ago, but I did get that David Ruffin solo LP for $2, which is in mint cherry condition. That's a Sony reel-to-reel. There you go. So what is that? Early reel-to-reel right there. Interesting. $40. Here's a bucket of albums. It's gonna be commons. I'm not gonna find any Beatles in here. If you do, it's gonna be overpriced. That's what I love about 45s. They haven't really been rediscovered yet. That's a cool album right there. $15.50 for the Beach Boys Party. Major seam split. Gatefold. JFK. How much for the Who? I got this album somewhere. $20. So it's not like this is the bargain bin. What's that? Wet Willie. Can't even find like a rare Pink Floyd. Last time I did good back here. In the inner bowels of the place. So let's see if I can find something in this back one. I sort of have a memory. It's all coming back to me. Seems to me, yep, there it was. That's where I found the David Ruffin, right there. Let's see what we got. The Happenings. I just bought a 45 by them. Ricky Lee. These are $2. They're priced right. No rare Pink Floyd. Come on. Just heard this song on the radio on the way over. We're in Shipley. Probably the one with Don't Bogart that joint. Looks like the Pointer Sisters. Ronnie Laws. All right, Deep Purple. Boots Randolph Bread. That's a good record, but that one looks a little beat up. Days of Future Past. Herb Albert, heard him on the radio on the way over. Oak Ridge Boys, Porter Wagner. I tell you what, Herb Albert, there's a lot of his vinyl out there. It's a unique sort of 60s sound. Boz, Vangelis. My wife was into Vangelis. Passion Play. What is that, $15? I thought it said 75. Holy cow. Christopher Cross. The Brothers Johnson. I think these guys were produced by Quincy Jones. So that's sort of cool. We should say on there, right? Players, direction, Brothers Johnson, Lewis and George Johnson. Yeah, right there, right up there. It's Quincy Jones and Quincy Jones Productions with his logo. I will say this place is clean and neat. Now, here you go right here. This is an old phonograph and works with records. So $200, you could play 78s on that. There's the needle, it's pretty mechanical. And I have no idea what this is, but I don't think that has anything to do with vinyl records. A sextant, just in case you get lost. Believe it or not, Indiana Beach was a thing in the 60s. And the parents would take you down to Schaefer Lake and you would go off and hear live music. A list of everybody that played there here in the bathroom above the urinal. But it's pretty, Frank Zappa, I think the Yardbirds. That's a pretty impressive little list right there. That's what it looked like as you pulled up to check in to the Indiana Beach House Hotel and snuck down to see the Beach Boys in the ballroom. Well, Mom and Dad were probably out at the casino. All right, a couple episodes ago, we went out to the Goodwill where they carted stuff out in trays. This stuff in here has been dug out of the carts, curated. It's got like some high-end stuff, the Reed Gallery. You know what I mean? You're not gonna find a stack of old dusty 45s in here, I'm afraid. Tons of Americana. Michael Jackson is still everywhere. Looks like him and Brooke. And he grew up about 20 miles from where I'm right now. And we went to his house a couple episodes ago. Jackson family home, still standing. Indiana, 1972. I found some records back here in the corner. Like I said, give me a rare Beatles or a Beatles first record that came out on VJ or a Pink Floyd or something, but not so much. These have been pilfered. In case you're wondering, Crown Point's probably most famous for that right there. Dillinger. We broke out of our jail by carving a bar of soap into a gun and making it black with some shoe polish. So Dillinger was public enemy #1, and he's famous for his death mask. So there you go right there. There's an early Sony AM/FM. I'm gonna say it's about 72. Another early AM/FM Westminster. I never heard of that brand. A lot of these booths are almost afraid to dive into vinyl because they're like, oh, it doesn't sell. Well, you see what they put out on the floor. You know, you can't put waltz and polka and spiritual and religious and Broadway LPs and expect them to sell. You need some freaking rock and roll. Well, look at there. What is that? I may have looked at this before, but let's look at it again. I just found this box of 45s, and they're already plastic sleeved. These are sandwich bags. You know, there's VJ Records right there with Beatles. It's an early, do you want to know a secret, number 587. It's probably a $5 record, but it's not a $12 record. So, but that's what you're looking for right there. Early VJ. This was an overrun label where they just like, we need an extra 10,000 labels. So it's very cheaply done. What's the B-side on it? The B-side is Thank You Girl. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's a $5 record. Yardbirds, that's a good record, but once again, $6. Jeff's Boogie. Some kids records, and that's about it. I like the box. I got it out of the plastic, and I'm gonna look it up. It's good at best condition wise. I looked it up. It's a $4 record, so it's not Beatles 498, which is my holy grail. And in this shape, it's probably a $2 record. So we move on. I've walked the perimeter, hit the back rooms. Now I'm going to go down this middle aisle. A cool old radio. That's a Zenith. That would be from my dad's era, where you'd sit around the radio as a family and listen to Buck Owens and The Shadow. Yeah, there was no TV. It was in the 1930s. Sure enough, 1930s Zenith radio. Probably still works. Well, there you go. Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis. I would dare say these have seen better days. Obviously, these have been melted on purpose. So that's what that is. Novelty. Right there you go, the Monkees. That's actually a pretty good little cassette right there. And yeah, it's got Stepping Stone on it. $2, I might get it. My dad's running joke is they used to call the grocery store and ask, "Do you got Prince Albert in a can?" Better let him out. When the clock radio started coming out, AM, FM clock radio, this one had a little cassette player on it. Sort of cool. Grundig. Everybody was getting in on this electronics market. The Germans, I think, were still in the game. I think Grundig's German. Vintage ads are now huge. So someone just buys a bunch of old Life magazines, cuts the pages out, and sells them for $5 a piece. So vintage ad for a '59 Buick. Americana sells 70 Buick. The '68 Pontiac going to the youth market. These guys were coming home from Vietnam with a little cash in their pocket. They were buying badass convertibles like that. What is this? I spot some 45s. $10 for the stack. That's a good one right there, but it's just shit. These things look like they mopped the floor. Well, it takes one rare one. These are just like... someone had to have just purged all their fare. I haven't seen one good plus yet. It's Rolling Stones. Yeah, what do we get? Yeah, these are just rough. You can't even read the label. You know, the funny thing is, some of these would still play pretty good if you turned them up loud enough. You know, it's not even, it's a nice record. Oh no, maybe not. Quincy Jones, Mr. Lucky. It's not even worth entering some of these because they're just so beat up. And this is what you gotta go through to find the good stuff. Hit or miss. Candy Girl on VJ, that's the label. There's one Rolling Stones, there's a Beatles, Day Tripper. It's good at best, it might even be fair. And you know, it takes you a couple minutes, maybe up to 5 to enter a record into Discogs. So I'm not just gonna buy just because it's $10. Even if they're placeholders, a lot of kids. Unless I just find a Fun by the Beach Boys. That's it. Number 304, if you want them. 80% off entire booth today. Max it down to $2. But they're just in such bad condition. Stack of 45s you could get for $2. There's the Beatles, there's the Rolling Stones, and Beach Boys. But it's like fair condition, almost every one. With Elvis, right? I think that was here last time I was here. Got that one at home. Tennessee Ernie Ford, Fifth Dimension. Heartbeat City, The Cars, Little River Band. Booth looks like it should have some 45s, but it just doesn't. As the Beach Boys play in the background. This is about 1976. These started getting popular. And you would tell your mom and dad, hey, I need an alarm so I can get up for school. But in reality, it was a clock radio with AM, FM, which means you could stay up all night long listening to FM radio, which had very loose or no format at all. Cool unit right there. RCA stereo early. It was fairly expensive probably to get something like that. And then by the 80s, these little boom boxes. I had a yellow one, Sony, very similar to that. Old magazines, like I said, people just clip the ads out of them. One on the left is a Woodstock issue, but you really probably would be best off having an ad for Woodstock instead of a retrospective in Life magazine. More typical, you're down here on the bottom rack looking through some tired old LPs. It just doesn't get the blood flowing as much as a stack of old 45s, I'm sorry. But you never know. I'll take a Beatles on VJ any day, but I saw a Chris Squire solo LP that looked interesting. Sort of that prog rock sort of gets into the Pink Floyd lane, but nothing back here. Let's take a quick gander here. Most of these are just commons. I always look for Beatles on VJ. Released for a short period of time. There's the White Album. Just in case one of them sneaks through. Rare Earth. That's an interesting one. There's Elton. Bernie Taupin, Bob Welsh. I know all these albums, but I just don't have any interest in really spending $20 for a beat up piece of crap. There you go. Building B was a bust. I didn't even have to pull out my list. of Northern Soul. But I got a gem out of building A. So we'll wrap this up and come back here in about 2 or 3 months, let things cycle over a little bit. Here is this week's gem of the week. It's a Garth Brooks 45. And if you look at it, you say, oh, what's the big deal about this? Well, it's jukeboxes only. And these are unusual releases, but a lot of times you get a lot of good twofers on this. Now, what's she doing now? I'm not that excited about. I see these SEMA labels. They're basically a Liberty. And these were made well into the 2000s, I believe. But the B-side is what I wanted. And sure enough, Friends in Low Places. Now, I'm not a big Garth Brooks fan, but I recognize that you have to have this in your jukebox. So we're going to go ahead and put it in there. Value-wise, it's about a $4 or $5 record. I got it for $3. That was at the Crown Point Antique Mall. And Building A was okay. We had some 45s and a lot of bad overpriced LPs. Building B, we had more stereo equipment and alarm clocks than we did vinyl. But, you know, you get days like that where you're not going to get everything you want. But I got a Garth Brooks. It's condition-wise, it's very good. It's scuffed up, but it's perfect for my jukebox. So that's where we're going to put it next. All right, so all I got to do is take this little record right here out of the sleeve and then put it in the jukebox. So it's simple as that. You can see my old JEL 1963 Row AMI jukebox. And I got a slot down here at UV. So why don't we put it in there? Let's make it happen. Alrighty. Let's check it out. All right, UV, so I got to put it on scan. So I got this little slide bar right here. And this thing makes all sorts of noises, but we're going to go all the way to UV. These things were made to last about 7 years. So when I bought this, I rehabbed it. And I've gotten about 2 or 3 years out of it. There's U. So we're probably right about there. U1V1, and that's my granddaughter. She put Love Shack in S1T1. So we're going to go on U1V1. Oh, there we go, Friends in Low Places. That will be V1 if I turn it that way, just like that. So that's how we'll put it in there. And drop it right in that little slot. And then we turn it back on. All right, let's see if it'll play. There's U, and there's 1. All right, it's looking, it's looking. There it comes. All right, there we go. Turn it up a little bit. Gem of the week, baby. It's scratched up. It's beat up. But would you expect anything different? Woo! All right, that's what I'm talking about. There you go. That's a jukebox record right there. $3. Gem of the week. Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places. I think that's going to stay in there for a while.